Welcome to All Things Havasu with Chris Rydell and Lonnie Stevenson. It's everything you'd expect from these guys, plus some serious interviews about Lake Havasu City. Now, All Things Havasu.
Hello, listeners. This is Chris Rydell, and I'm here with my buddy Lonnie Stevenson.
Hello.
Hello. We wanted to welcome you to podcast number 1 of All Things Havasu. Now, you might remember back a while back we had recorded a podcast once upon a time, and it was a little trial run that we were doing. We didn't really have a clear message, so we decided to go back to the drawing board. It's taken us a little bit longer than we planned, but we're back, and we're going to be doing some great stuff. What are we going to be doing?
We're going to be talking about all things Havasu, upcoming events in and around Lake Havasu, as well as issues that our community may be facing. So not only are we just going to be talking, but we'll be bringing in people related to those events, speakers, and people that are going to give a different perspective and maybe give us some more information on either an upcoming event or an issue that our community is experiencing.
Right. Well, and we do need to take a minute to thank our sponsors. Our sponsors for our podcast every week are going to be Chicago Title and also the Lonnie Stevenson Mortgage Team. And for those of you that don't know us, we do have day jobs and we do things that make us money for a living. And our company that I work for is my sponsor because they let me do this out of the goodness of their heart. And I'm doing it on their dime. So they get sponsorship every single week. Lonnie's the same way. If you like what you hear here and you want to find out more, if you're working with a real estate agent and you're going to do a purchase on a house, you're going to need a loan officer. And Lonnie Stevenson Mortgage Team would be loving to have your deal. And Chicago Title would love to do your escrow. So we're here for you in your real estate transaction. And I think we got our sponsors out of the way.
We did. So what's coming up in Havasu?
Well, we have several things coming up. I know for those of you that missed the Balloon Fest, that was, 2 weeks ago now. I'll tell you what, it was the greatest, I think it was the best event out of all the ones that we've had here so far for the Balloon Fest. Every year it seems that we have wind or something come up and ruin one of the days. This year was absolutely beautiful. We had 75-degree temperatures. If you missed it this year, I strongly recommend you come back next year for it. We had 75 balloons here flying. It was absolutely amazing. The night glows every night were just spectacular. We had a good time. I think everybody had a good time. They sold over 16,500 tickets to the event.
That's incredible.
Yeah, for Lake Havasu. And I noticed when we were there on a Saturday, we were standing there and I walked around the corner looking at all the people and I kind of felt like, you know, what a great event this was. It felt like we were in the big city at a real big event. So make sure you catch that event next year.
And talking to several of the people associated with the event, I mean, they were more than excited by the response that they are getting from the balloonists, the pilots that are traveling thousands of miles in. I know several of the groups that came in from Illinois are making this an annual event. The Angry Birds balloon is a traveling balloon, and that thing was being shipped up and sent over to one of the European countries for a balloon fest upcoming. But it just there's a vibe out there right now from what I'm getting that this event is not there with the Albuquerque event, but it's quickly ascending up the ladder of one of the must be at events in the country. And of course we have the uniqueness in Lake Havasu of it's an event in January. Where else in the United States can you fly your balloon in January?
Right. Well, we haven't caught up to the Albuquerque event. They have. I was talking to somebody that goes to all these events. They said the Albuquerque event, they capped the balloons at 700. So I can't imagine what that site was going to be. But Lake Havasu's really done a great job with putting ourselves on the map with this. We all should be proud of that.
And the traffic Saturday getting onto the island was absolutely
Yep.
incredible. From sun up to sundown, I think there was a good half hour, 40-minute wait just getting from the entrance onto the island to the parking facilities. So
what else do we got coming up in February?
Well, just around the corner is Winterfest on McCulloch Boulevard, which is a huge event for the Chamber of Commerce. That'll be Saturday and Sunday, the 8th and 9th. And then following weekend is Pyrotechnics Convention and Rockabilly which is, again, getting some national recognition starting last year when it was featured on a segment of Counting Cars, which is an A&E show. So there's that coming up, and then jet ski races later on in the month, and motocross event out at the new facility out at Sarah Park. And I know that's getting a whole lot of attention, just like our skate park is. A lot of people traveling in. That motocross track out there is a real nice facility and something that a lot of people are embracing and involved in. So
that's just February. And that's one of the reasons why we decided to go this route with our podcast, is because, being from this town, we know there's a lot of people that'll be listening to this that aren't from Lake Havasu. But even living here, we're so caught up in our daily life that we don't get to see all the different things. We don't realize how many things that are actually on there. And it was kind of funny. We were talking about, well, what are our topics going to be? What events do we have coming up? We were actually worried about not having enough things to talk about. And the first thing we looked at, we pulled up the calendar, and there was more events in February than we even had any idea of. So our idea is, and by the way, if you get a chance, go to www.golakehavasu.com. That's a great website for you to go and see the events that are coming up if you want to know what's going on in the town of Lake Havasu. It's a pretty well maintained site. And one of our ideas to do on this is going to be, we like to hear ourselves talk, but you probably like to hear some other people talk too. So our idea here is, it's not just going to be Lonnie and me yammering on about stuff all day long on our podcast. The idea is to actually have interviews scheduled, and we're going to be getting in contact with the people who manage these events, and actually have them as guests and interview them and talk about. So keep tuning in every week to our podcast. We're hoping to grow our viewership, or our listenership, I should say. Right now, we're just doing an audio-only podcast. We are discussing the possibility in the future of doing a video podcast. But we're going to start small this time. So keep us in mind every week. We'll be keeping you updated on our Facebook page that will be coming soon, and possibly a website, Lonnie.
Both are on the horizon.
Yeah, we're working on both of those. So we're going to try to keep it fun, keep it up to date. And if there's something controversial or something going on in town, political or whatever, we may, branch off into having those types of things as well. So if you're interested in Lake Havasu, you want to know more about it, or you live here, you want to know what's going on, tune us in every week.
And there's a lot of really cool, just not events that go on in Lake Havasu, but just activities as well. We were at a recent meeting, and Cal Sheehy from the hospitality industry was cluing us in. There's just a whole world of boat tours and Sarah's Crack and hiking and biking and Sarah's Crack.
Oh, well, if you live here, you know what that is. If you don't, you're probably wondering.
It's not an illegal substance, and it's an actual hiking location, but there's just a lot of things to do. Having been here for a number of years, it's been a common statement of, there's nothing to do in Havasu, and really that couldn't be farther from the truth. Is there's a whole host of things to do, and just people aren't aware of them. So that's what we want to do, is we want to bring you aware of all the different things. And the Go Lake Havasu site is a wonderful site. However, that's a chamber site. So if you're not a chamber member, or it's not a chamber-sponsored event, it may not necessarily show up on that. And we are also finding that out, too, is not all events make it to that calendar. So, again, we thought this was a good vehicle to convey different events and different things that are going on that are not just chamber-only. Not that the chamber isn't a great organization, but there are some things that just aren't tied to the chamber.
Right. So keep us in mind. Listen to us every week, and we will be continuing on. Once again, I do want to thank our sponsors, Chicago Title and Lonnie Stevenson Mortgage Team. Without them, we could not be doing this. So think of us when you are looking for our services.
And you can look on Facebook, the Lonnie Stevenson Mortgage Team. You can just do a search that way, or you can just go to LonnieStevenson.com, and all the contact info is right there.
Perfect. All right. We'll talk to you soon.
Is that it? We're done?
I think we're done. That was easy.
So, no fancy music yet to say goodbye?
Oh, yeah. Let's do that.
Oh, should we play that now?
Yeah, let's play it now.
Okay.
All right.
Do.
Bye.